What's going on, Soccer Squad? And happy St. Patty's Day to those who are actually celebrating this joyous holiday. It's your boy Roman, aka Mr. Enemy 343, back at it once again. And today, I'm actually here to talk to you guys about my thoughts and opinions on Redo of Healer Episode 10. We're actually on the home stretch here, ladies and gents. 2 more episodes, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, we get a Season 2. Because I want to see what actually happens after this, because, oh man, we've got a heck of a lot to talk about here. So let's get to it, shall we? Alright, first off, I gotta say, you know how cross-dressing is always like the comedic relief of certain anime, or animes, like some people would say it, anime, potato. It doesn't really matter to me. We're all joined by the love of, said entertainment. And I've been watching a little too much Otaku Daikun. Great guy. Really go check his channel out if you haven't yet. I totally enjoy, his content. So, enough of that. Let's get to the episode, shall we? Now, it turns out that Blade... Oh man, this is like really, really intestinal if you ask me. Whew. Blade is actually a known rapist and a lesbian. I know, LGBT+. You can't go after them because, they're actually what SJWs pander to. But women can be just as much rapists as men. And Blade is no exception. She actually would drug certain women and then use them as personal sex slaves. I know it's a very touchy subject. Nobody wants to talk about this. And all I gotta say is someone needs to actually come out and say this. This episode was really, really dark. And it turns out that Kyoru, our protagonist, actually had to cross-dress himself as a woman in order to actually get close to Blade. Now, as you guys should know, I'm not giving up on the series. I'm going to watch it till the very end. I don't care what people think or say. You guys have your opinions. I have mine. These are my personal opinions. But let me just actually break this down for you. This is actually just really, really dark. But, that's how the anime was. It turns out the mangaka actually was a sexual assault survivor. I can't really verify if the mangaka is actually male or female, but we actually know that, in the Rising of the Shield Hero, another great anime, that the mangaka was actually a woman. But men can actually also suffer sexual assault just as much as women can. You see, the left always likes to, proclaim that certain issues actually go against the narrative of theirs. But we actually need to keep pushing out facts and logic. Because that's how we fight back against these leftists. Facts and logic. So anyway, back to the episode at hand. Kyoru actually uses his healing magic to turn himself into a woman. And I do say, Femme Kyoru is really awesome. And it turns out that Freya and Setsuna actually decided to actually have a little bit of fun with Kyoru in his female form. And this actually makes me want to freaking get a female VTuber avatar, so that way I can just flaunter around a little bit. Just to actually screw with, all these, Puritans and SJWs. So, it turns out that Kyoru actually manages to get close to Blade And he actually was drinking some wine, or whatever kind of drinks they actually had during the dark times. Then, of course, it turns out that Blade actually managed to actually slip a drug into the drink, which is how she's actually been getting, like, the women into her bed chambers, per se. She actually drugs them with the sleeping agent and an aphrodisiac. So, beyond that, they actually, yeah, let's just go down this kind of route here. Turns out after female Kiara actually got drugged, she actually took the unconscious Kiara out to the streets, where she kind of carried him. Oh man, this is actually just so much fun. And they actually pretty much, there was a scuffle between the father of one of the victims, who was actually a feudal lord, and he wanted payback for what she did to her daughter. I'm talking about Blade, though. Oh man. Yeah, and it turns out that they actually got into a bit of a scuffle. The feudal lord gets knocked out. But, of course, as you know, Kiara actually managed to fight back a little bit, but to no avail, since Blade actually has the Sword of Ragnarok, which is kind of like, her special weapon. And let's just say that bad gets worse a little bit, but it brought him one step closer to, getting his revenge against Blade. Because it turns out that as long as, Blade carries the Sword of Ragnarok with her, it can actually heal her from any damage whatsoever. Poison, physical damages, all healed. Non-existent. However, if she didn't have the blade, then she's SOL. Let's just put it at that. As soon as she actually brings her back to her, bed chambers, she actually had the female Kiara actually all tied up. And oh boy. Was she in for a shock of a lifetime? She was about ready to actually violate female Kiara. But she actually finds out that she is a he. Basically, she found out that she was a man, and he even exposed himself to her, making her feel more uncomfortable. But guys, this is actually freaking messed up, but it's a dark fantasy. What do you expect? It's not going to be, sunshine and rainbows with this kind of stuff. In fact, let me just actually clarify something. The reason why I like this anime is because it actually speaks out against certain issues. Nobody's talking about this. Therefore, I'm doing it. And lastly, it's just so freaking good. I don't care what other people think. You have your opinions, I have mine. And I'm willing to actually voice my opinions no matter what. So, that being said, when she found out that she was a he managed to actually poison her with a shoe blade hidden in his right shoe. And he also tossed a kunai at her, which also got into her hand. And right before he actually freaking just, manages to get his revenge. Cliffhanger! We gotta freaking wait till episode 11 to find out what happens to freaking Blade. And I still need to see the uncensored version of this. But all in all, I actually love this episode along with the series in general. Sure, people might actually be against me about this or not. I don't care. I'm willing to voice my opinions about this. I want everybody to actually just, enjoy what they want to enjoy without any repercussions. So, if you guys really enjoyed this, please be sure to smash that like button. 2 away from completing this. Well, this series, though. But fingers crossed we do get a season 2. And hopefully, if you guys actually really enjoyed this, comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Also, subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell for future updates. And remember these 3 things, guys. Respect the waifus. Enjoy your fandoms. Anime is freedom. And until the next one, this is Mr. Enemy 343 saying, sayonara, everyone.